Hey guys, what's up? Today we're going to go into another Alan Green discovery. Like, he's the one finding this stuff out. He figured it out. Okay, and that's really awesome. I haven't seen material like this in a while. It's not in my books. And someone told him to write a book, but he's like, it's hard to put this kind of stuff into a text format. And I agree, so we only have these videos for now, okay? So, Alan Green talks about how the title page of the Shakespeare Sonnets hides sacred geometry. As you can see, this T is perfectly angled to align this dot with this dot right here. So these dots and the ends of the lines are all indicators, and this big G dot for the G Freemasonry is one of the main starting points of this. But you see this angle here goes directly to that top dot to make a straight line, okay? And so what happens when we attach the 1609 dot with the main G dot? What is the ratio of these two lines? It's a perfect right angle, of course. They're obsessed with right angles. And then you could also connect the G dot to this end line as well. Make another right triangle, okay? And etc., etc. So this one particular one, the G to the alpy dot to the imprinted dot, is a 3, 4, 5 Pythagorean perfect triangle, okay? You know, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We all learned that in school. But this is how much they worship this number. If you attach all these dots from the imprinted, the line, the second line, the alpy dot, 1609 dot, and the G dot, it's all a perfect circle, you know, the most perfect shape. Okay, and then we're going to also attach these imprinted dots to where the circle ends that was created by these previous dots and the G. All of these ratios mean something. Okay, so the G to this first line to the imprinted dot is pi. This is 11.44 and this is 35.95. Divide those, it's 3.14. Okay, so they're indicating they know pi. And of course Archimedes, you know, so-called, he was the first so-called person to let us know that value, but the pyramids have been hiding it well before then. And now we see this ratio imprinted to the bottom line of the circle to the G, 35.39 divided by 13.02. What does that give us? 2.718, which is E. Okay, define structure, not define structure, that's E. You know, Brunelli and Newton were supposedly the first, you know, guys to teach us that. But these are in Shakespeare plays from the early 1600s, and Newton didn't discover, quote unquote, this until 1669. So how is Shakespeare's sacred geometry hiding this if this Shakespeare stuff was in 1610 and stuff, and he supposedly died 1626? Okay, that's E. It's how to calculate, you know, compound interest owed. You know, that's as high as interest could ever go, 1.718. All right, now we see this ratio, 32.61 divided by 18.98. What do we get? We get E minus 1, 1.718 instead of 2.718. So, wow, let's just keep going. 33.56 divided by 17.64, 1.902, and this is Brun's number. It's actually very important. It wasn't discovered until 1919. Okay, this is 300 years after the Shakespeare plays. And we have this value hidden in Shakespeare geometry using some lines and some dots. Okay, then we have the golden ratio, phi, 22.73 divided by 14.05, or it's 0.618. It's the golden ratio, Fibonacci sequence. Now we have all these numbers, okay, and then we have phi minus 1, which is 0.618. This ratio right here is 1.618. Sorry, I skipped over that. All right, then we have the Fibonacci sequence right here, which is 1.8394. This ratio. Like wow, from this black line here to the green line, that angle. Sorry y'all, it's just This is all just on a 1600s paper, using some dots and some lines. And then we also get these three. You add those two and divide it by the 37.79. You get 1.732, which is the square root of 3, which many consider holy because that's the Trinity back in the day. And then reverse that, 37.79 divided by 35.16 plus 30.34, and you get that value. Euler's number, or it's not his number, but he discovered that. I totally forget the title. Well, look, isn't that insane? All these universal constants are found just by attaching the G dot to all these different other points on a graph in a perfect circle. Just sit and marinate for that. This is what I was watching on my flight. Okay, I had a 7-hour flight to Hawaii, and I was watching these videos. I was like, wow, I'm so glad this YouTuber told me about that. And these numbers were not even discovered by Shakespeare's time. E minus 1, those were not known or supposed to be known when this was written. And yet they're there. Okay, using 4 lines, or using 2 lines and 4 dots, we get all those values. It is not coincidence, it is intentional. Okay? So yeah. This guy Alan Green, just like, it's exactly what I needed. And now let's get even deeper here. So if we put a straight line between these dots, okay, and then from the G to the imprinted line, from the G to the bottom line, so a straight line, and then the G dot to this is a 20-degree angle, okay, and then the G line to the bottom of the circle angle to the end of the line is also another degree, we shall see. But now let's just attach it to the tops here. What do you think these are? N and E? Even the NE is even on the circle right here, indicating a globe. So what could it be? Northeast, maybe? Okay. So if we did these degrees as points, it'd be 29.9796 degrees north and 31.1299 degrees east, just by the G dots and the tips of where the circle is and the end of the line is. That's all it is. The circle and the end of both lines. Create that degree. Sorry, I know I'm rambling, but what do you think it indicates? What do you think this location hides? What's on Earth at this location? Using Shakespeare's times, grid, latitudes, and longitudes. Yeah, it's the area of the Great Pyramids, y'all, which we showed is what the Sonnets hid. Sonnet 123 talks about the pyramids, okay? And the whole outline describes a triangular number structure with the apex missing on top. And what does the title page of the Sonnets show? The latitude and longitude of the pyramid itself that it's indicating and hiding in secret. Y'all, look at this. Like, this is exactly what I needed for this year. Like, Happy New Year. Thank you, Alan Green, for showing us this stuff. And what did he do? All he did was he just took the lines shown. I'm just going to say it one last time. The G dot to the tip of the line where the circle hits, and the angle of the lines of all the dots itself is a 29.9796 degree. That's the degrees of that angle. And then the G line again to where the circle hits the line again to the end of the bottom line again. See, this line goes through the bottom line on this side as well. It's 31.1299 degree angle. And so the N and the E on the circle are indicators. Like, that's north and that's east to hide the location of the pyramid, which is what the sonnets mathematically show with triangular numbers by counting the numbers and all the characters and counting the stanzas. Like, wow, y'all. Wow. Let that marinate and then binge his videos.